haven't made a great deal of progress on the 3 living and the 3 dead this week, but what I have, I'm quite pleased with. I just had a lot on my plate this week and I haven't really had a lot of time for my own personal projects. But I've filled in all the rubbish and the little creatures that lurk around the bottom. We've got rat and chips, which I keep thinking of that scene in Demolition Man where Sylvester Stallone eats a rat burger in the world where everybody's vegetarian by law. And he's like, good burger. I've been wanting to watch that all week now. And the coffee cup, which the Starbucks logo is much harder to render than the McDonald's on the chips, but that's okay. I've been using a few of Midori Matsushima's silks, which someone got me some for Christmas. And I have to say, I've really liked those. I use those for the McDonald's packet. And then I really need to say, did you ever have one of those days where you think your embroidery's a pile of shite? Because, that's obligatory. That joke had to be made. And a little urban pigeon. I think in some ways the urban pigeon was one of the most fun things because he needed to be a grubby, dull little bird. But I've not treated him in a naturalistic, modern needle painting way. I've very much treated him in an Opus Anglicanum way because I've moved the bars on his wings, which on real urban pigeons tend to be sort of lower down. And I've done this arrangement of the bars being further up and then the flight feathers being done in alternating colours, which is very, very much Opus Anglicanum. The rat was done in a very similar fashion. He is done as an Opus Anglicanum rat, not as a modern needle-painted rat, because you'll notice that the needlework, the silk stitching, goes round and basically his body is a circle because that's what Opus Anglicanum does. It breaks things down into geometric shapes. I've given him a slightly more naturalistic look because I didn't have all the right browns. So where I've used 2 strands of silk, sometimes I've used 2 of one brown and one of one brown and one of another to sort of mix the 2 together to give a slightly more speckled look, which I do sometimes because it's very nice on animals, but it also allows you to use a modern commercially dyed silk like De Vere's and give it a bit more of a naturally dyed look with the variation along the length of the thread. So that's my progress for this week. A rat with chips, spilled cup of coffee, pile of crap, and a fat little urban pigeon. I have been posting little photos of some of them and I will post still photos of them as well. I'm moving on next to the dead and I'll be doing this one here. And what I do is when I'm working straight from a manuscript, I just print out a copy of it and keep it next to me. I quite like on this chap in the manuscript his, I don't know if that's his clavicle bone or something, but that bone at the base of his throat, it looks like a bow tie. I think that needs to be emphasised and made to look a bit more like a bow tie, to be honest. And I'm quite looking forward to skeleton number 3, because I just love the worms on his robes. They look like somebody's just taken a load of worms and just thrown them there as an afterthought. They're not really interacting with the rest at all. But I like to keep the original drawing next to me when I'm working, because it just reminds me what I'm doing. But I'll be working on this one first next week, and hopefully I won't be quite as busy next week and I'll be able to get a bit more done.